Hey YouTube, welcome back to Love for Crypto. That's a proper gay start to a proper gay day. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Smell a bit of green candles in the charts. You see fucking crypto Twitter's fucking like a fucking volcano that's just erupted. And the geopolitical events around the world are just getting that interesting. I thought I'd fucking make a video for once. No, welcome back to the channel. Just before we carry on, if you do like the content, you find it like you're taking some value away from it, drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, and sit the foot back, because we've got a fucking hell of a 12 to 18 months ahead of us now, ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, let's have a little talk about the price. You know, I'm not no technical analysis whiz kid. You know, if you want to follow Crypto Wizard, Torre, he's the fucking man for that, honestly. I actually set myself a BitMEX account up the other day. Me and Scott are gonna continue to carry on accumulating XRP until we don't. But from then onwards, we do want to start having dapples in the market. So, you know, we've opened a BitMEX account up. We're only going to trade Bitcoin. I've said it to Scott. I said personally, Scott, I said I can't trade XRP. I said I will never be able to short that baby. And obviously, don't get me wrong. You know, obviously, fundamental analysis. What we've been speaking about on this channel for fucking months now, well over a year, getting onto the 2-year period towards back end of this year. I mean, the fundamentals are unbelievable. How could you short those fundamentals? But you know, we need to remember we're in a heavily manipulated market, and we still are today. So I'd be happy shorting Bitcoin, but you know, XRP's a different kettle of fish. It belongs to my heart. We are as one. People say don't get emotionally attached to investments, so I'm going to tell those people to fuck off, because this isn't just an This isn't just an investment, as we've said all the time. This is a fucking once in a lifetime opportunity for generational wealth to be transferred into your pockets. So, you know, Bitcoin is breached 8K. I think it even tapped the 8,400 region, which is nice to see. We've seen XRP, you know, hovering still at 31 cents, absolutely doing nothing. A few Bitcoin maxes on the Mike MC, giving it out on Crypto Twitter, and then out of fucking nowhere, bam! She fucking win. And she fucking win. I think she went as high as 44 cents yesterday. Again, you know, it's nothing to really get excited about. It's just nice to see for once that we've seen a leg up rather than a leg down, which we've seen for well over 15 months now. I think by this point now I'm accustomed to this market. I am literally immune to price swings now. Whether that's up, whether that's down. Listen, it's a win-win situation for me. If it goes down, I'll just simply buy more. If it goes up, then I can actually fucking start using my money for other things. But it's nice to see what's going on. And we have to ask ourselves, I mean, why are we moving the way we are moving? Now listen, this could just be one big bull trap, this. It really could. We've got to look at both sides of the coins at all times. You can't just come on here, FOMO, and then it goes down. We need to give both sides of the coins. It's very likely that it could dump. Is it probable? I don't even want to say it. I'm not even going to have an opinion on it anymore. The price, I left that behind a long time ago. I mean, if it was down to me, we'd already be at $10 by the end of 2018 with major banks using the asset. But obviously, you know, it's like building an actual city itself, the crypto space. We need the exchanges, we need the custody solutions, we need the gateways, the on and off ramps for obviously the capital. We need money for institutional investors, services, and obviously we need the regulations as a whole, and we've just not seen any of that when we expected to see it last year. But honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, personally myself, if I wanted to throw a bit of fundamental analysis below what's happening, we've just had, I think it's the FAFT, I'm not too sure. It's an international regulation body overseeing 36 national nations, shall I say. And I think they are the biggest regulating body in the financial world from across all areas of the globe. Again, I forgot what the acronym is, the abbreviation. I do apologise, there's a lot going on at the moment. It's hard for me to keep up. But supposedly they need safeguards and they need regulations mandatory implemented by June. No, June again. We keep hearing the lovely word June and July. Obviously, we had the SBI delay again due to regulations. I think they postponed it till I think it might be July. Obviously, I made a video about that, getting extremely excited, knowing that I'd have still a couple more months at least to accumulate on the losses that I incurred. Obviously, when I was out of work, wasn't able to buy. I had to use some of the money for some things, made mistakes with other bits of it, but hey, life goes on. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about this fundamentally now. This is what we need to fucking think about. We've got the G20 summit happening in Japan. I don't know if it's June, July, it's fucking soon, that's what I do know. And I know one other thing as well, the top of the agenda this time is getting those safeguards set in place for consumer investors, including obviously institutional investors. They need the safeguards. And that's top of the agenda at the G20 summit. And we've just heard, I'll call it the FAFT. I don't know if it's that, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I know what it is in my head. It's just an abbreviation, I'm getting wrong. Now obviously they've come out stating to those 36 nations which they oversee, that is mandatory to have regulations set in place by June. So we're talking about the G20. We all know who the fuck the G20 are. You know, they're absolutely fucking massive. It's probably the biggest organisation of wealth distribution and economics all combined together, working for the great good of the world. Also, they say. And then obviously we've got this other new initiative. It's not a new initiative. Again, it's at every corner of the globe in the financial markets, overseeing regulatory oversights. Now, what will this do for the markets? Well, first of all, the price suppression that I've been banging on about for fucking months. And hopefully I've got that instilled into your minds, especially the ones that are still with us today. The price suppression will have to stop. It will be legally binding that if we see the wash trading that we're seeing and the spoof trading that we're seeing, people will be held accountable for those bad deeds. Now that's something that the crypto space has never once had to deal with, ever in its lifetime. Now we're talking about the whales that are in the markets, wash trading out the traders, spoofing the retail investors, basically making a profit illegitimately against the good. So we finally got the regulations. Oh, so it seems, I mean, are we going to get a delay? Who fucking knows? Would it surprise us? Who knows? It wouldn't surprise me, but I actually genuinely feel for the first time in my gut that we will actually start seeing this to roll out. And it feels good, it does feel good. Again, let's not get carried away with it. Let's remain conservative, let's remain level-headed. Let's not get carried away with the hype and the FOMO we can see at the moment. But let's be happy that we are seeing those up movements. You know, we're seeing, I mean, XRP, I said it to Scott this week, at the start of the week when we start seeing the movement. I said I can see it getting to 40 cents this week, and fucking hell, it was 40 cents yesterday. I rang him up and said, I fucking told you, Scott, did I? I said, it's coming, sunshine. But no, it's nice to see the markets, and I can see, especially with the emotions in crypto Twitter, everybody's on the high horse, everyone's excited. Even Rob Bearish Art is now bullish. Hey, I mean, if that's not a fucking sign, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what the fuck is, because he's been the biggest fucking crypto bear since he can remember. He's actually changed it in his Twitter handle. Rob, now bullish art. No, so it's nice. No, it's nice to see. It really is nice to see. Again, no, please remain conservative and well grounded with what's going on, because this has happened before and we've easily gone shooting right back down to the 28 cents range. Potentially could go even further. Bitcoin, again, it's at 8k, seems to be holding its ground. When we've seen the sell-offs, we've seen the support, we've seen the resistance being met on the support levels, and it's really nice to see. So, I mean, that's a little bit for the fundamentals of it in that regard. Obviously, we've got the regulations coming. And with the Bank of England, I don't know whether this is correlated to Ripple, so don't quote me on it. But again, just remember that the Bank of England are a paying customer of Ripple. And obviously, from the recent conferences that we've seen, Big Dave from the Bank of England, and Mark Carney, and the way they've been speaking, it's like poetry of the digital fucking economy that's coming. It's the best way of putting it in layman's term for the man on the street. It's poetry. It's like a foresight of the digital revolution, the upcomings. It's the 2030 money agenda, of course, of what it is. You know, we know that we've got the G20 nations all working alongside each other to try and harness this technology without damaging it with regulations. You know, a level-headed approach, a level playing field is a good way of putting it. So I wanted to drop that bit in on the fundamental analysis today. I really did. But secondly, let's move over to other things that are happening. Obviously, we've got the launch of BAT. They've come out saying it's going to be June. We've heard Fidelity are going to start offering Bitcoin trading soon to their institutional clients. We've got SPI who will launch in there, whatever the fuck they're launching, trading exchange, where we can actually see open order books on SPI. That'd be a nice fucking day. You know, it's been delayed for about fucking 18 months as it is. But it's coming. You know, nothing works perfectly. We have our little bumps, our little potholes in the road that we need to overcome. And I think, I mean, personally, my gut's telling me, my mind is telling me no. But my body is telling me yeah. You have to mind that singing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bit appalling. But hey, tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you do come down to the DLT Con, that means Scott are going to be hosting in September. I'll take you to the fucking karaoke bar and I'll sing you some XRP songs. That's worth a ticket on its own. No, all jokes aside, listen, there's a lot of positive stuff now that's happening. I mean, I've been bearish myself for a long time. When I started seeing the Bitcoin bull run, I was optimistic about it, but I was also very pessimistic at the same time. And to be honest, if you was to ask me today, am I bullish or am I bearish? I'm slightly leaning to the bullish side. Now, yeah, we've seen a rise, maybe 35% rise in the price of XRP, but fucking hell, I've seen this over and over and over and fucking over again. And again, it won't surprise me if we did have a backlog on regulations, but I do believe that we genuinely might actually finally fucking get the result that we wanted, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, especially when we've got Fidelity that are going to be launching, we got BAT that are going to be launching, we've been hearing all talks about European exchanges offering derivative products of XRP. And actually, while we're on that subject, let me explain something to the audience. Now, you all keep hearing about ETFs, ETNs, all these different types of derivative financial products. Now, a lot of people will say when the CBOE futures launched back in 2017 December, those futures was used as a tool to suppress the market. Listen, it fucking was a tool to suppress the market. I've been fucking banging on about this for fucking, since time immemorial, as Gregory Mannarino would say. I want to actually talk to you about something about how it will work though. I mean, if we look at the gold spot market, you are introduced a spot price of gold. So let's say, for example, today gold is $1,250 per ounce. Now, if we go to the futures, if we go to the ETF markets, again, the derivative products, the financial tools over on top of the underlying asset, which obviously in this example I'm giving you is gold, then it's actually a sign of maturity of the market. And not only that, which will hopefully make you happy when I do go on to explain what I'm about to explain to you. Now, at the moment, a lot of people will ask and they will say, it's hard to find the true value of crypto. There is no valuation mechanism in the markets at the moment. Now, yeah, you have your Binance, you have your Coinbases, and you have all your other large major crypto exchanges at the moment. If you see a premium price in one exchange, you'll see the R bots coming in, taking it, firing it into the other exchange to make those slight, minuscule profits. But again, over a long period, and the rate that those bots can move, it's actual profitable game, the arbitrage game. Now, obviously, so we've always been able to find a medium of valuation. Now, we heard an ETN being launched for XRP over in Stuttgart, I believe it was. I think it's the second largest European exchange, 7th largest exchange in the world. Now, they're offering a derivative product on the underlying asset of XRP. Now, my prediction moving forwards is we're going to see these everywhere. We're going to see all major exchanges. I mean, we can see it already with BATS and Fidelity. You know, they're both major fucking players. I mean, the Intercontinental Exchange is oversight of the biggest exchanges in the world, the New York Stock Exchange, for example. Now, they're out there willing to put these ETNs and ETS and futures contracts above the underlying asset of XRP. So again, let's go back to this example of gold. If you've got a gold spot price of $1,250, but then the futures markets, the ETF markets, the ETN markets, all above are stating that gold is $1,380, what do you think is going to happen to the spot price? Because as an example, for every one physical trade of gold, there is 56 paper contracts traded. Meaning that basically, and I've said this all over, I've said it over and over again, the gold market is suppressed by the derivative products, by the ETFs. Fucking there's the cough, the legendary fucking cough. Now, if you think about what central banks around the world have been doing, they have been accumulating gold at record fucking paces. Because as we've all said, we do believe some sort of gold standard is likely on the cards to be reintroduced. As we can see, the current system's on its arse and it's going to fail. But what I'm basically trying to get at, now obviously I'm using this example here, and it sounds awful because obviously I'm using ETFs, paper derivatives as an example, but they have been suppressing the gold markets. So they can buy up the spot price, buying physical gold at a cheaper price, whilst dumping worthless pieces of paper over the underlying asset. The moral of the fucking story is what I'm trying to say here is, when you get Batch, when you get Fidelity, when you get the New York Stock Exchange and all these other major fucking European global stock exchanges offering derivative products on top of the underlying asset of XRP, what do you think is going to happen when the vast majority of institutional money especially will be being traded through these derivative products? Listen, BATS could launch, Fidelity could launch, and another group of major exchanges around the world could launch. It could offer an ETF product of XRP, and then all of a sudden the institutional markets are evaluating XRP at $12 fucking dollars, and everyone's like, fucking hell, $12? Are you mad, Kurt? The fuck, I could go and buy it off an exchange for fucking 40 cents. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what will happen on those exchanges. They will be bought up to match the price of what the derivative products are actually offering in valuation, because that's how it works in the world with gold, with silver, with commodities. It's always the paper markets that actually determine the spot value, because you have traders that come into the markets, they'll buy up the cheap XRP and they'll know for a fact that it will be worth more, and you'll have a frenzy of buying. Now, I'm not saying that this scenario is going to obviously come out the way that I've just said it. It's going to launch, it's going to say $12, and all the fucking XRP cross fucking exchanges are going to be bought up because they're way undervalued, which they fucking are. But what I'm trying to say to you, in the medium term future, you know, the next 3, 4, 5 years, listen, the spot price on the exchanges will literally be artificially, if you want to be called, artificially controlled by the paper markets, as it has done with every other asset in the world. With gold, when gold was the spot price of gold, then we had the ETFs, we've seen a surge in the value of gold from the gold ETF. That's because it was institutional gateways with the custody services and the security that those type of investors need. I mean, it's all right for every little Tom, Back and Harry watching this video going spending 500 quid, £1,000, £200 buying some XRP and going, whoopie fucking do. But we're talking about major institutional investors here that are reluctant to put any fucking sort of capital in to Binance or to Coinbase or Coinbase Custody Solutions. They are waiting for Fidelity. They are waiting for the derivative products to go on top of the underlying assets, of course, because then they've got a true valuation. They've got their security of what they need, and it helps improve the liquidity of the market. That's just a little takeaway that you need to think about when you're speaking about ETF products. The futures, what will the futures market do? Now, yeah, of course it's used for fucking manipulation. Every market in the world is manipulated. You need to understand this. Whether it's the bond market, currency market, equity markets, commodity markets, every single one of them are controlled. But listen, we want the adoption of this asset. We want this asset to flourish. We want to see the regulations which we are seeing coming. And don't forget, Mr. fucking Brad Garnhouse did state last year that he expects dozens of banks to be leveraging XRP in the year 2019. Now, yes, we had a bit of a delay, especially my price prediction of $10 2018, because regulations was simply not there. Making it obviously a little bit reluctant for investors and probably usage of the asset to commence without regulation. I just don't see it happening. But we're finally starting to see the pieces of the puzzle come together. And it's nice to see, listen, the price, yeah, enjoy it. Yeah, you know, especially if you've been buying them recently, if it's new people of the audience that have just subscribed and only heard of XRP, then you're feeling your first fucking pump. Hey, fucking hell, people who've been in the market for 40 months are probably feeling the first bit of a fucking pump. But again, just don't get carried away with it. Keep your end on the end game. Your eyes on the end game, sorry, should I say. That's the bigger picture here. Listen, the short term, you know, just enjoy your fucking life, crack on with your life. Don't get infatuated into this market. Don't let the market take over your life. Don't be waking up at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning and checking the price. If you want to be happy, you want to see the sustained growth of XRP, check the fucking price once every 2 months. And I can guarantee you from this point on, or so it seems, you could probably see that nice steady growth in the value of XRP. So obviously we've covered the likes of Backed, Fidelity obviously launching. They're going to be launching Bitcoin futures. I do genuinely believe XRP on the cards. I believe it's a big no word at the moment, XRP. Obviously you see on the mainstream media attention, it's all Bitcoin, look at this Bitcoin, bitty Bitcoin, but you don't hear nothing about XRP. They won't tell you about how they're engaged with the IMF, and now the World Bank actually branded XRP a revolutionary piece of digital technology that could transform the fucking world, and that they're working with the Bank of England, and the Bank of England fucking pay Ripple, and they're working with the Federal Reserve, and all this other type of shit. No, they won't tell you that. As the dumb investor, they won't tell you that. That's only for the smart money to know. So we don't want to be announcing this to the world, because fucking hell, we seen what happened last time, didn't we? So again, it's a controlled market. XRP, they don't want you to know about it. Obviously, if you're listening to this channel, that's why we created this channel, because me and Scott and the team, obviously Simon, Chris, but it's Suburban, Demore, you've got Jesse, you've got Shaunus, you've got absolutely loads, you've got Flip, you've got my little Aussie mate. There's so many people in this community, in our community, that have done really well with new members of the crypto space to really, push away that FUD, push away that hype, show them what's real, and show them what's possible. And the possibilities are fucking magnificent, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who thinks that they're not, at this point, especially with the information that's been presented to you from this channel throughout the past fucking God knows how long, then you may as well just go and fucking jump off a bridge or under a bus, because it doesn't get any clearer at this point. The writing is on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. It is fucking in black and white ink, solidified onto the fucking stains of the world, that what is going to happen is more than likely, it's going to happen. We can see it. We can see, I mean, obviously we've got the consensus week this week. Could that be, excuse me, could that be an indication of the bull run? Potentially, yeah. Again, listen, in 2 weeks' time, the markets might be back down to fucking 35 cents. Do not worry, because it is coming. It just takes time and patience. Now, hey, ladies and fucking gentlemen, I may be wrong. We may see fucking XRP at 50 cents by the end of this week, and we all know what happened 24 days after last time XRP got to those levels. Yes, it did hit $3 fucking plus off retail fucking money alone, with bare minimum exchanges allowing fucking new custom to actually come in, with new revenue being able to access the market. Listen now, it's a whole new fucking different kettle of fish. We're talking about 200 plus exchanges that are allowing fucking the trade of XRP. I've actually lost fucking count. I think there's over 1,000 markets now where XRP can be traded, whether that's against other digital assets or whether that's against national currencies, i.e. the pound, the dollar, the euro. So we've got a lot more gateways. We've got the institutional gateways, the participation of the big boys of the markets. And make no two fucking mistakes about it, ladies and gentlemen. The markets have been artificially suppressed. It was all a game of suppression onwards from 2017. Sorry, 2018. I'm just going to have a quick drink to clear this frog in my bloody throat. So, as you can see, there's actually a lot to talk about. I could probably carry on for about another 40 minutes, but people get fucking bored, mate, and fuck it off. So, we got regulations. We've actually got positive signs of custody solutions being introduced to the market. Another thing that we do need to remember is, as I did mention, Brad Garlinghouse did state that he expects to see dozens of banks leveraging XRP in this calendar year. Now listen, he may have overshot on his last statement with a major bank using XRP. I don't think EuroXM was a major bank. But listen, you can't fault Brad Garlinghouse. He cannot control the regulations. But again, now it's been top of the agenda, the G20 Japan Summit, regulations for crypto digital assets. And they've had 2 other sessions to speak about this. It's not the first time that's coming up. This is probably the 3rd or 4th. And I expect to see some sort of draft regulation framework being drawn upon, so then each nation can go and make their independent nations to fall in line with the G20 regulation. And obviously we've heard about the regulation bodies, the 36 nations that need regulations set in place by June. So again, the pieces of the puzzle are definitely 100% coming back together, and it is nice to see. Obviously we've been getting delay after delay after delay. kicking the can down the road, kicking it down the road, kicking it down the road. Will it be kicked down the road further? I don't know. I don't really want to make a fucking prediction on it. I just want to state what I see in front of my eyes, and I do smell positivity. I do feel bullish. But I've been that accustomed to this bear market, I don't know if it's fucking real or not anymore. But I suppose that's what a bear market does to you. When it does start moving, you just don't believe it's going to happen before you know it. You popped over the dollar. So I just want you to all know that obviously, just remain conservative at the moment. Don't be doing nothing stupid yet at this point. Enjoy it. It might not last forever. It may continue to be a fucking 10-year bull run, just like the fucking S&P had been from 2018. It could be a controlled market like that. And again, once we start seeing these exchange traded products, you know, the ETFs, the ETNs, the futures markets, once we start seeing major participation from institutional investors, it will determine the spot price of XRP. I can fucking guarantee it. I don't give a fuck whether Binance is showing XRP at 30 cents and those futures come out at $2.28. I'm fucking telling you now, that spot price will be bought up faster than you can fucking believe it. And vice versa. Hey, the futures might say it's 15 cents, it'll sell just as quick. But one thing, and it's just like if you're watching the Dow Jones and it's, you know, 1:30 in the afternoon here in the UK, and then the futures comes out, oh, Dow Jones futures down 400 points. What happens as soon as the market opens at 2:30? The Dow Jones is down 400 points. So as much as the futures contracts, the ETFs, everyone say, oh, you don't want Wall Street in, you're going to fuck up the markets. As much as we don't want it, listen, we do want this. This is the participation we need to have to foster the incubation and the growth of these digital assets. That's including them all, Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP. There will be some winners. I'm just hesitant with obviously the mining situation with Bitcoin, but obviously the XRPL can make those transactions and move Bitcoins with atomic swaps during the interledger protocol, which is another thing we've covered on this channel. But yeah, it's exciting times really, to be fair. I mean, well, let's see what happens with the Token Taxonomy Act. I think that's being pushed through the US. Again, we don't need to wait for the US, we need to wait for an international regulatory framework, and the G20 can produce that. If America wants to continue being the protectionist nation that it is, then they can do so. But the world will not wait while this revolution is commencing. I mean, we know Japan are trying to do some massive fucking shit with it anyway, with SBI. I mean, Yoshihiko obviously is now Ripple fucking board member. I mean, fucking hell, ladies and fucking gentlemen, we've seen what the International fucking Monetary Fund have been saying about it. The World Bank, what they've been saying about it, can transform fucking markets. And obviously we've got the trade wars happening at the moment. I was going to try and touch into that. I was going to try and touch into that a little bit, but I mean, this video's ran on quite a bit, but we have got Trump and we've got China now locking horns over trade wars, banging tariffs on each other. The markets clearly don't fucking like it. And we've got fucking China threatening to dump fucking treasury notes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if China start dumping treasury notes, I can assure you one fucking thing, ladies and gentlemen. I can assure you one fucking thing, ladies and gentlemen. We will start seeing the bleeding of the bond market and the US dollar demise, which we've preached about for many, many, many months on this channel, becoming an actual factuality of life. It will happen. I mean, I expect it to happen, you know, back end of 2020, 2021. I'd like to see Trump try and prop up these markets for a re-election. But I mean, listen, it might not happen, who knows? But it's a very interesting thing to keep your eyes on geopolitically anyway. You know, this trade war, it's going to cause all sorts of carnage around the world. And again, who are the nations that are most punishable by these acts of these super nations? Again, it's the emerging markets, and we'll start seeing the liquid pots in the emerging markets. You know, obviously the trade connections, we're talking about global finance and stuff like this. Emerging markets are always affected the most every single time, and we found this out in 2008, and we needed to get together as a world, and we needed to foster some sort of some methodology to help out these emerging markets. And ladies and gentlemen, what do you see in 2019 since all these talk? We've got a brand new digital fucking revolution happening, which, as you know, what corridors are Ripple targeting to begin with? It is the emerging markets. Now, this could be a massive, massive help for these emerging markets if they're starting to find liquidity with using the United States dollar as the global world reserve currency. I do believe if China do dump bonds, I mean, I do think it's an idle threat. I don't think they'll do it. But as the dollar starts being decreasing in demand, we will see the yuan and we will see China act as a part-time engine until we can get the full globalization of the globe, which is what the elites have been planning for many, many fucking decades, ladies and gentlemen. There's no two ways about that. Everything's articulated, pre-planned, like a fucking comedy show, although it won't be a comedy show. Obviously, we've got the talks over in Iran as well, fuck me. There's all sorts of stuff fucking happening. It's just like the stars are lining up. It really does feel like that to me. But, you know, we have to keep our heads level-headed. Obviously, I don't really want to start fucking preaching all loads of fucking FOMO cheese on. You all start getting excited. Start giving me a load of fucking shit and aggro. But there's a lot to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing the shake-up again in the markets. But is this just the central banks playing the fucking swings, adding and de-adding to the balance sheets? I mean, if you look at the global money supply, it took a little bit of a sharp downturn recently. And not long after that, what else followed? The stock market took a fucking sharp downturn. Listen, the central banks are the fucking main participants of the equity markets, of the global stock market. Listen, the central banks have been buying that shit for the past 10 years. It's not fucking institutional or retail investment no more. It's printed fucking QE, which Donald Trump is calling for, again, which might provide a slight tad little bit of stimulus for the US economy, but it will be short-lived, ladies and gentlemen. I do not think this time round people will be thinking that the bond market is the safe haven anymore, and we will see the demise in the US dollar valuation. The strength of the dollar will deplete, and when we start seeing that depletion of the dollar, listen, the world reserve status of the United States dollar will be clearly undermined by that point. I mean, the world are already undermining that at the moment. We've got Europe trying to do trade oils, oil trades with Europe. Obviously outside the SWIFT system, you've got China that are creating their new system. There's new fucking systems everywhere that are independent to the United States dollar. So de-dollarization, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is fucking well and truly underway. And again, you know, I'd like to say the entire thing is pre-planned to a degree. I may be wrong, who knows. Excuse me again with a cough. So yeah, apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to look forward to. These next few months, honest to God, if, and that's an if, we do not see the bullshitting delays and we actually start seeing clarity. I mean, I think the SEC and the FinCEN both recently issued sort of guidelines, which is a massive, massive start. And then we're going to start seeing regulations come into force. Then maybe those dozens of banks that Brad Garlinghouse did say will be using XRP, leveraging it for cross-border payments in 2019 might come to fruition. Ladies and gentlemen, we may potentially see that $10 in the short term. We could do. I mean, the fundamentals are there. The fundamentals have always been there. It's been the artificial fucking suppression of the markets that have prevented it from happening. And we're about to see regulations being introduced where those bad actors will now be punished. You just got to ask yourself a question. All the FUD, all the shit throughout 2018, it's a scam, it's a security. It was all one big game of dumb down the retail investor, bring down the spot price, selling off XRP. I mean, he was fucking borrowing assets off exchanges to sell into the market. And as they're selling out of one wallet, they're buying up in the OTC wallets. It's as fucking simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. It's crystal fucking clear. So while we've been seeing these artificially low fucking prices, you better believe the institutional investors have been accumulating this fucking asset. Not just XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum and other stuff. But it's been going on, and it's been going on for a long, long time. And once these regulations come in, there'll be no more of the rigging. I mean, yeah, there'll be rigging, like I say, every market's manipulated. But listen, you won't get these whales try to dumb down fucking XRP, and you won't have these artificially suppressed fucking prices. Will be a thing of the past. That I can fucking guarantee you. But hey, it doesn't matter by that point, because the big boys have got the big fucking bags filled. Now they're going to be offering the custody solutions and the trading products like Fidelity and BAT. They'll let the motherfucker rip. In fact, they'll fucking paste it all over mainstream media as the greatest thing since sliced fucking bread. That I can guarantee you. Wall Street 101, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, need I say more about it? Everything is coming to fruition. I think, as discussed with Simon last night, Q4 2019 will be a pinnacle point. And I'd like to see what happens with the financial markets. Can Trump keep it above water, or are we going to see that 5,000, 10,000 point fucking strippage from the Dow Jones Industrial Average? Who knows what's going to happen? But it does seem like everything's correlating with each other. You know, as we see those markets really start dumping once we've got regulations and real world usage of XRP by the banks, XRP will become a very lucrative hedge against the establishment and the system, so to speak. Because as it's imploding, I can see the rise of digital assets just going through the roof. I really can. I mean, a lot of people don't see the correlation between the two and will question it. And it is questionable. You'd be wrong not to question it, but I tell you fucking what, ladies and gentlemen, the stars are lining up and we have not got long to wait. If this market does flip and turn bearish, then so be it. So fucking be it. Buy it. If it goes up, then just fucking strap the fucking, ladies and gentlemen, because that $3 that we seen last time, it will be breached. It will be overpassed. And, you know, the talks, these $7 to $10 will be completely realistic, I would have thought. I mean, I might be wrong. You know, it's hard to actually, again, without the ETFs, without the futures, how do you get that true value mechanism that you need for these markets? You don't. You just simply don't. We need these products to come onto the market. We need the regulations. We need the security. We need the usage of XRP. And I tell you what, by the time it's 2020, XRP and the Interledger Protocol will be the fucking goddamn standard. And I don't even want to think what will happen from 2020 to 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you sell at the fucking start, I mean, take profits off the table by all means, but do not leave your bags empty before 2025, because that's when the true flourishment and the true growth of this fucking revolution will happen. Is between 2020 and 2025. And if you can hold some till 2030, till the back end of the new era of money, so to speak, you'll be a very happy person. Even if you can keep hold of 1,000 or 500 XRP, the price potentially could be in the fucking hundreds to thousands by then. And you know what, it will be a pleasure if we actually do meet those prices, if we do see these valuations, if we have got you into the market because of the knowledge and the information and the documentation we have presented to you, and you do become a winner and you gain value from this. That's all that we want from this channel. We don't want anything else from you. We just want to fucking help you, open your eyes. And for me personally, I want to turn around to all my fucking friends in a couple of years and say, fucking told you. I fucking told you. Now go back to your 9 to fucking 5 work while man's fucking chilling on the beach. It's been a fucking pleasure. Again, if you've liked the content, it's always coming. I was speaking to Simon yesterday. We're going to try and get Simon a podcast fucking slot for the channel. That'll be absolutely fucking epic. Scott's carrying on with his daily videos. I'll try and drop a fucking video in here then there. As I do, I'll try to fucking obviously keep back away from it at the moment. But apart from that, you know, obviously, as Scott would say, live long and hodl. It's a beautiful day. We're coming up to the summer period. I'm going to be extremely busy over the next couple of months. And obviously, I'm looking forward to the DLT-Con event that we are hosting. We've already got the deposit paid down for the function. As the ticket money starts rolling in, we're paying off the event. I think it's between £2,000 to £3,000 to host the actual event. So if you're thinking that obviously we try to fucking fleece you all of your fucking money, it's actually to cover the cost. There might be a bit of float afterwards. We'll do some nice little prizes and draws. We'll get together, put a bit of money behind the bar. It'll be absolutely epic just to be in a room of 250 people who are die-hard XRP fans, so we can just talk shit all fucking night, and I'll take you to that karaoke bar. And I tell you what, if we're over $1 by then, I'll fucking run around Manchester fucking city centre in my fucking underpants. Hold me fucking to it. If we're over $1 by then, hold me fucking to it. Love yous all, guys. See yous later.